Hey there. I played the Countryle for December 30th, late last night slash early this morning. Recorded the entire video. It was a beautiful solve, and when I went to start editing it, I found out I had completely destroyed the sound. So I'm going to re-record the beginning, which is the description about the country, totally easy to recreate, and then I am going to show you my solve with no sound. I'll just put some music under it so that you can see, because it was a really good solve. And then hopefully we will back in business tomorrow. So feel free to skip ahead if you want to just see the solve. I'll put a chapter marker as usual. And here is information about yesterday's country, which was Angola. By the way, the lesson here. You might think it's a great idea to make a video at 1 in the morning. You would be wrong. Anyway, so the Republic of Angola is a country on the west coast of central southern Africa, bordered by Namibia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Zambia, and has coastline along the Atlantic Ocean. It also has an exclave that borders the Republic of the Congo and the DRC. Its population is approximately 34 million, and its capital is Luanda. It is the second largest Portuguese-speaking country in both area and population after Brazil. Angola was populated by nomadic Khoi and San peoples prior to Bantu migrations into the region. Bantu speakers introduced the cultivation of bananas and taro, as well as cattle herding. The Kingdom of the Congo, with a K, was established and extended northward into what is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, with a C, the Republic of the Congo, and Gabon. The Portuguese established relations with the Congo in 1483, and in 1575, Sao Paulo de Luanda was founded. Several other settlements, forts, and trading posts were established by the Portuguese along the Angola coast, principally for the slave trade. This part of the slave trade continued until Brazil's independence in the 1820s, so over 200 years. The slave trade was abolished completely in 1836, and in 1854 the colonial government freed all of its existing slaves. By the mid-19th century, Portugal had extended its claims as far north as the Congo River. Portugal wanted to link Angola with its colony in Mozambique to the east, but their way was blocked by the British and the Belgians, who were in between. As well, there was some armed resistance from peoples within Angola. The Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885, often called the Scramble for Africa, set the colony's borders. Under colonial law, black Angolans were forbidden from forming political parties or labor unions. The first nationalist movements began after World War II. Portugal refused to address demands for self-determination, which provoked an armed conflict in 1961 and evolved into a war of independence that lasted 12 years. During this period, 3 rival nationalist movements competed as well within the country for dominance. A ceasefire with Portugal was achieved in 1974 following the Carnation Revolution in Portugal. The 3 internal factions began seizing territory and weaponry as the Portuguese withdrew. This erupted into a civil war in 1975, with assistance on various sides from the United States, the Soviet Union, and Zaire. Cuba sent military aid to support one of the communist factions. Between 1975 and 1991, the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola, the MPLA, implemented a political system based on the principles of scientific socialism with a Marxist-Leninist one-party state. Angola industrialized during this period, but there was a great deal of corruption. The Civil War continued throughout this period until 1991. New elections were held in 1992, and the MPLA secured an electoral victory which was opposed by the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, UNITA, and the results of the election were overturned and the war resumed. A ceasefire was achieved again in 2002, and the country began to stabilize. Democratic processes began to prevail in 2008, although Angola continues to experience a serious humanitarian crisis due to the prolonged wars, the abundance of minefields, and famine. In August 2022, the MPLA won another election. The current president is João Lourenço. The current government is a presidential system with a unicameral legislature. Angola has a tropical climate with alternating wet and dry seasons. The country has diamonds, oil, gold, copper, wildlife, forests, and fossil fuels, all of which drive the economy. Angola's population is comprised of numerous ethnic groups, including the Ovibundu, Ambundu, Bakongo, and many others. The main languages spoken in Angola are Portuguese, Umbundu, Kikongo, Kumbundu, and Chokwe. Most Angolans are Christian, while a small percentage practice local indigenous religious traditions. The region suffers from regular epidemics of cholera, malaria, rabies, and Marburg hemorrhagic fever, which is similar to Ebola. There are high incidence rates of tuberculosis and HIV as well. Angola is heavily influenced by Portuguese culture, as well as its indigenous ethnic groups, predominantly Bantu-speaking peoples. Angola ranks 148th on the Human Development Index and 145th in nominal GDP per capita. Life expectancy is 61 years. The infant mortality rate is 55 deaths per 1,000 live births. The literacy rate is just 66%. And Angola is ranked 99th on the Press Freedom Index. And now I send you to Past Jessica for the solve of today's Countryle, December 30th. Feel free to drop a comment here or on today's Wordle video, which went fine, which is linked in the description below, with a suggestion for a starting word for tomorrow's Wordle related to today's Countryle answer, and I will see you then for more Countryle and better, recording.